Hi everyone, this is Daniel Crawford here, and this is Bell to Bell, the, sister program to my podcast, Extra Extra. So, obviously this is February 8th, 2021, the day after the Super Bowl, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about professional wrestling from the week, including the Royal Rumble and onward, the aftermath of the Royal Rumble. So, I already talked about the Royal Rumble last week, so I'm just going to talk about what happened after. So, top 5 matches of the week. You have Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan, which was on SmackDown. It was kind of a follow-up from their previous match, and actually it was another great match. You could tell at the end of the match that Daniel Bryan was like getting frustrated. You know, I'm not sure if he's about to make a heel turn or not. Maybe he is, but his character is getting frustrated with the fact that he just can't seem to win. He can't seem to win big matches or even these matches against people like Cesaro. And Cesaro, they're like pushing, and I'm very happy about that. He's a hard worker, and he's been putting a lot of work into WWE since he came in there, but especially the past few years, even when he was like going a year without any real wins or anything, he's still been working hard. So he's being rewarded, and I like to see that. Daniel Bryan, he's about to go through a transition. I'm not sure what it is, but right now, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing with that. So it was a really great match. Excuse me. Apollo, Crews, Sami Zayn, and Big E for the Intercontinental title. It was a triple threat match, and Big E, of course, he came out victorious. It was just a really good match. You know, I enjoyed it. This whole storyline with Apollo, Big E, and Sami. Like, I love Sami's whole conspiracy theory thing. You know, he's got this camera crew following him around everywhere. He was a hoot at the Royal Rumble, and of course, even leading up to it. I don't know, I just enjoy all this with Sami Zayn. But everyone in this match they've been really, appreciated. And you could show that they're appreciated for all their hard work. So that was a great match. We also have, from NXT, Legado del Fantasma versus the Lucha House Party, the Dusty Classic tournament. This was a really good match. A lot of awesome spots in it, but I think it was Bubba Ray Dudley had made a comment recently about how NXT, when you watch the matches, like AEW has quality matches, obviously, but there's a lot of things going on in AEW's programming where if you're watching for the first time, you try to watch a few weeks, you really don't understand what they're doing half of the time. Like, what's the point to some of their stories? What's the point to some of their matches? Like, what's the end game? Who's benefiting from it? So that's why there's a lot of times while I'll really enjoy a match in AEW, sometimes it falls flat for me because, what's the point? Who benefits from it? Who suffers from it? Where are all the characters going from that point onward? So, I think that was kind of Bubba Ray Dudley's point, in that he had basically said that when you watch NXT's matches, they're solid, and there's always a point to it. It keeps you invested for that reason. Granted, the ratings show that AEW they're basically doing better than NXT ratings wise, but storyline wise, quality storyline wise, I think NXT is a superior one. And this match right here, it's a great tag team match. A lot of stuff in there. There's a purpose. They have this tournament. Create a purpose when you have a tournament. I understand, but this match was it was good. So if you haven't seen it, I advise you watch it. A really good match on AEW. First time in a while that they've had consecutive times making it into my top 5 here. But Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. I think it kind of stole the show on Dynamite for their Beach Blast special edition of Dynamite. And, this was really good. It had an ending to the end where Britt Baker won, but she cheated to win because of Reba, whatever you want to call her. Because of the interference from her assistant, Britt Baker won, so they left the door wide open for a rematch between these two in the very near future. So, once again, they do have good stories. They do have great matches from time to time. Obviously, they're really well known for their great matches. Sometimes it's just too much. This match wasn't too much, though. So they've been telling this story for a few weeks now, for a couple months now, and I think it was well done. So, kudos to them. Edge versus Orton at the main event of Raw is also in the top 5 here. Just a great match. They're kind of just ending this feud between Randy Orton and Edge, and I appreciate them doing that. I think that this match would have probably happened at SummerSlam if it weren't for Edge's injury. So, this past year. Okay, so that's the top 5. I didn't have any special mentions, any honorable mentions for any other match, but those were my top 5. Once again, in no particular order. Best backstage segment, Johnny Gargano being interviewed on NXT, and this was funny to me because Gargano is like allergic to Kushida, to his name, basically. So anytime Kushida is mentioned, Johnny Gargano flips out. And this interviewer who was interviewing him, like, Gargano was like, I really like you, because she wasn't asking him any questions that he was offended by. So he's like, you're a great new interviewer. And he's telling her that he appreciates her, that she's definitely better than the one that that they all hate, that the Way hates. And then she asks about Kushida, and then he's just like, oh, I don't like you anymore, Well, he didn't say that, but basically that's the whole point. He doesn't like her anymore. And then he tries to go get her fired, and he gets beat up by Kushida. But either way, that was the best backstage segment in my view. Best show of the week. So here's my ratings for each of the shows, all 4 shows: Raw, AEW, NXT, and SmackDown. Raw gave a 9.83 to NXT, but AEW got a 9.63. NXT got a 9.81. And SmackDown got a 9.89. So all of WWE's shows, to me, rated at 9.8 or higher. And that's just, there was a really solid week for WWE. Right after the Royal Rumble, things picking up, especially on SmackDown, which is why SmackDown was the best show of the week. Like I said before, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's still above 9. The rating for AEW is. What hurts AEW sometimes is sometimes there's matches, like I said before, that don't make sense. But also, the worst part of that about AEW at times is their backstage segments and their promos. They suck. Like, overall, the vast majority of them I don't enjoy. The backstage stuff. So, like, the ring stuff is great, solid. Now, like, some of the stars, like Omega, obviously Moxley, Shawn Spears, whenever the heck he comes back, those people are good at, their promos. But the vast majority of the promos and and in the ring, like, promos that they do, it's just, I don't enjoy it. So that's part of what hurts AEW. At least for me. Alright, best heel moment of the week. This was actually a tough decision for me. I was kind of like combing through, because I always take notes of all the shows that I watch, just so I can come back and talk to you all about it, give my assessment. But, so this was kind of hard for me to figure out, because there were a lot of heel moments, but, no, I can't say there were a lot. There were a few heel moments, but not a lot of them stood out, but I guess the one that really did kind of stand out, it was tempting to make Roman Reigns this one, but I gave that Roman Reigns enough focus, and you'll hear that soon enough. But Sheamus finally betraying Drew McIntyre after Edge had confronted Drew. I definitely enjoyed that. He gave him the brogue kick, and just what we've been seeing all along, building up this story between Sheamus and Drew, and I think it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll just go from there. Let me see here. Fire story of the week: Edge and Roman. This looks like it is the direction they're going to go in. Believe me, I would like to see Edge challenge for the NXT Championship to a degree. I'd like to see him challenge Karrion Kross, because I think they're about to put the title back on Karrion soon. Not yet, but soon. So I'm enjoying that, and I would love to see that confrontation. However, the way they did things on SmackDown this week, with Roman saying, "Why are you playing games with me?" talking about Edge, and saying, like, you got to be here, like, that whole segment, that whole opening segment, that almost became my favorite. Well, actually, no, it was. I just looked down, but it's just this story between Edge and Roman. It's definitely fire for me. It's great. I'm enjoying. I'll get more into that in a second. New star of the week. So there's 2. I decided to put 2. On the lower end, I'm excited to see Carlito's back in the ring. Looks like he's going to do exactly what MVP did. Well, sort of exactly like what MVP did. He's going back to in-ring action. And I think there's probably going to be a story between him and Jeff Hardy that will probably lead to Carlito attacking Jeff Hardy, him turning heel again. So definitely excited for that. I don't think it's going to be exactly like MVP, because MVP is more of like a manager who occasionally wrestles. Obviously, he has the VIP lounge, which I love. But Carlito looks like he's in great shape, so he could definitely do this. So I'm excited for that. Kenta from New Japan Pro Wrestling. NJPW. or IWGP, I think is what they call it as well. It's confusing when you have multiple acronyms for your promotion. But anyways, he used to be known as Hideo Itami. I hope I said that right, in NXT. But he appeared at the end of Dynamite and attacked Moxley. So apparently he's a number one contender for Moxley's New Japan U.S. Championship, which is kind of a weird title to have, when you're in a New Japan. But I guess they do some stories here in the States. But either way, he's like the number one contender, and he came in and he's attacking. So they're probably going to have another interpromotional feature on a future episode of Dynamite or on Revolution. Probably just trying to fill holes in the pay-per-view. But either way, it was kind of exciting. I like interpromotional stuff like invasion storylines. So you're going to have Impact invading AEW. You're going to have NJPW invading AEW. You're going to have NWA involved in AEW. It's pretty interesting. I'm definitely trying to go the distance to be on at least as close to the plane of WWE as possible. So, yeah, good stuff. Best promo of the week, as I was just alluding to. I almost spoiled it. Roman Reigns on Edge's choice. That whole first segment, it was absolutely the best promo of the week. There was no way that it couldn't be. Roman is just obsessed with the idea of Edge challenging him because he says he is the champion, the main event, as he puts it, the head of the table. I love it, and I'm ecstatic for the possibility of those two facing off. I really hope that this thing delivers and that they go this route because it is the right choice. The right choice. Favorite commentary moment of the week. I can't. Okay, so there was another one that I wanted to write down, but my notes, I took very poor notes, and I couldn't read part of my own handwriting because of how quickly I tried to jot it down while I was watching. So I'm probably going to have to start pausing the event while I'm writing down my little note, just so I don't miss any details. But yeah, there were a couple commentary moments. There was one moment I was Wade Barrett, and it was he said something to the effect of, "Why would you want? Oh my God, what was it? Why would you want to go to gym for? What would you want a gym membership for?" And I think he was talking to Vic Joseph. I can't remember exactly because, like I said, my notes were poor, and I don't want to go back through the NXT episode to try and find that moment again. So, either way, you have this moment on SmackDown. The Street Profits do a picture-in-picture thing where they're doing commentary on the match involving Ziggler and Rude taking on Otis and Gable. Well, the Street Profits are doing commentary on it, and at one point Corey Graves I can't believe these two are trying to do my job. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know why that just made me just kind of die laughing. It was his. Graves is one of my favorite commentators, and I don't know. He's been kind of dormant for a while, in that I think Samoa Joe and especially Wade Barrett have kind of overtaken him sometimes, but he's still definitely one of my favorites. This week in wrestling history. So this week, tonight, 5 years ago, February 8th, 2016, Daniel Bryan retired. And we all thought it was the end until a couple years later, or actually, 3 years later, what do you know? He's back. And I'm excited for that. I'm ecstatic to see that he's back. It's one of my favorite things about WWE right now. So yeah, it was 2 years later. But either way, I love it. And I'm happy to see that Daniel Bryan has been doing so good. Like I said earlier, looks like he's about to go through another transition. And it's okay. So, with that, everyone, I thank you for watching. Make sure you check out my website, danielcrawford.org, as well as my podcast, Extra Extra, which is, of course, alongside this show. So, thank you for watching again, and we will catch you next time.